Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Well, he finally decided to put his feet on the ground today in East Palestine for the first time in the 2 weeks following the accident. So we also know that he has also been quick to blame the Trump administration for this accident. As you see here in this Twitter graphic, which came from Buttigieg's account, he's out here saying we are constrained by some areas in terms of the law, constrained by the law to undo what Trump did, claiming that all of a sudden his hands are tied. He is the transportation secretary. And it's also clear from what the NTSB said that this was entirely preventable. So how is it that this man who is at the helm and has all of this power and authority feels like he could not do anything to change this back? It's so many questions here, and yet Buttigieg doesn't have any answers, but he seems to have plenty of pride in the response to this crisis. Watch this.
I'm proud of what FRA and PHMSA have done here from day one, from the first minutes, or at least the first hours of this response. What I'm really proud of is the community that I saw here. You've got federal agencies, you've got local first responders, you got states, but most of all, you got a community that's been through a lot, that I think is pretty frustrated with people trying to take political advantage of this situation. And my focus is going to be to make sure that our freight rail system gets safer. And anybody who wants to take political advantage of this, I'm calling them to the table.
Okay, so I can agree with Buttigieg in the thought that people shouldn't be leveraging this as a partisan issue. They shouldn't be looking to score points, even though that's clearly what's going on. At the same time, if you knew that Trump had reversed an Obama-era rule that made it safer, it's like you started your job with this knowledge. And there are tons of trains that derail, but nothing of this measure as often, especially when they're carrying hazardous chemicals. Malaika.
I think that really speaks to the fact that we're really living, as Senator Turner would say, a duopoly. And so I think in some ways Democrats want to advance, I mean, obviously it happened in the Obama administration where they want to advance certain values, but it's not necessarily materializing through actual law and policy. And so I think with this situation, the Biden administration is being very careful about they handle this crisis, this environmental crisis, particularly because they know that labor union leaders have talked about the failures of the wider railroad industry, these large rail conglomerates who raked in billions of profits over the last couple of years. They're trying to be careful about they handle really just that whole situation because they know that they pretty much sided with these railroad bosses in labor negotiations where leaders were calling out these same safety issues.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it's like when it comes to Pete Buttigieg, at least for me, I wish he was as hot at the helm as the head of transportation as he is at the mic when he's confronting Fox News. It's like the man knows how to talk really well, but what is he doing? What is getting done? And again, the fact is you got into this job knowing that these Obama era rules had been reversed by the Trump administration. So if anything, that should have been one of your first go-tos, not necessarily hitting the talking head, let's go talk on Fox News, because I want far more than talk. In fact, America needs that. They need actual help to support we the people.